Captain Cornelius. In 1817, Cornelius Vanderbilt worked as a ferry captain under a wealthy businessman where he developed an understanding of the steamship industry. About 3 years later, in 1820, he went into his own business building steamships and operating ferry lines around New York. As the preferred primary source of transport shifted from maritime transport to railways, so did Vanderbilt's attention. He sold his steamships to buy large amounts of railroad stock, despite the mockery he endured from the younger Wall Street brokers. By the 1860s, he had obtained railway lines that operated between Chicago and New York. He became a dominant force in the industry, as he was extremely determined. His rivals would sometimes make attempts to bribe him out of competition. Due to his fierceness, he developed a lot of enemies in business by the time he was in his late 20s. But it was his blazing tenacity that made him the legend he became. The business industry isn't a friendly one. By the end of his career, Vanderbilt acquired more than $100 million. Today, that'll equal an estimate of over $1 trillion. Although many don't agree with the way Vanderbilt acquired his fortune, it's undeniable that what he did with his money was admirable. Vanderbilt is widely known for his philanthropy, having donated large sums of money to charity and other people-focused projects. In this document, Cornelius Vanderbilt and James Fisk are shown in a race for control of New York's rails. Throughout 1868 and 1869, the two men had fought for control of the Erie Railroad. Here, Vanderbilt straddles his two railroads, the Hudson River Railroad and the New York Central Railroad, admonishing his competitor. "Now then, Jim, no jockeying, you know." The dwarf-like Fisk, sitting astride the Erie Railroad, replies, "Let 'em rip, Commodore, but don't stop to water or you'll be beat." Vanderbilt was able to obtain so much wealth largely through a tactic known as vertical integration. Every stage of production was completed under his brand. Essentially, he owned the whole process. The people who retrieved the material, made the parts, mined the coal, ran the train, they all worked for Captain Cornelius. They say the fittest survive. Vanderbilt didn't just survive, he thrived. Vanderbilt was not born particularly privileged. He worked his way to the top of the food chain with the help of his great intuition and a continuously growing industry. Vanderbilt shaped a large part of the railroad industry on his own. It is his name that comes to mind at the thought of railway development. He was the man behind the quick sprawl of railroads all over the nation. Previously the captain of a steamship, he evolved with the needs of the masses and the technological advancements to become the captain of a new industry, the railroad industry.